Freya, Grace, George, Lottie, Asia, Athena, Sanaya, and Rihanna. Raj the First,
hello,
has his own confectionery emporium, or sweet trolley. And last, but certainly not least, is the ice monster itself.
Ooh!
A woolly mammoth that died 10,000 years ago. The lifeless animal was discovered by Arctic explorers, perfectly preserved under the ice. Part 1. London, 1899. Chapter 1. Cockroaches for breakfast. One bleak winter night, in the back streets of London, a tiny baby was left on the steps of an orphanage. There was no note, no name, no clue as to who this little person was. Just the potato sack in which she was wrapped, as snow fell around her. In Victorian times, it was not uncommon for newborn babies to be abandoned outside orphanages, hospitals, or even the homes of upper-class folk. Their poor, desperate mothers hoped their children would be taken in and given a better life than their birth families could provide. However, it was hard to imagine a worse start in life for this baby than at Wormley Hall, home for unwanted children. 26 orphans lived there, all crammed into a room that should have slept 8 at the absolute most. The children were locked up, starved, and beaten. On top of that, they were forced to work day and night. They had to assemble gentlemen's pocket watches from tiny pieces until they went blind. All the children were painfully thin, with filthy rags for clothes. The orphans' faces were black with soot, so all you could see in the gloom were their hopeful little eyes. Their names were Agatha, Bessie, Clarence, Dorothea, Elsie, Felix, Gertrude, Humphrey, Iris, Joe, Kenneth, Lillian, Mabel, Nancy, Olive, Percival, Queenie, Rupert, Stanley, Theodore, Ursula, Violet, Wilf, Zandra, Yorick, and Zachary. When a new baby arrived at the orphanage, all the older children would come up with a name for them. They liked to work their way through the alphabet, so their names would be as different as possible. The night the baby in the potato sack was left on the steps, they had reached E. If she had been found the day before, she might have been called Doris. A day later, she could have been a Frank. Instead, she was named Elsie. This prison of an orphanage was run by an evil old boot named Mrs. Curdle. Her face was usually fixed in a permanent grimace, and she was covered from head to toe in warts. She had so many warts, even her warts had warts. The only thing that made her smile was the sound of children sobbing. Mrs. Curdle would scoff all the food donated for the orphans, so the children in her care had to eat cockroaches for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Creepy crawlies are good for you.
She would chuckle. If any of the orphans spoke after candles out, she would stuff one of her pus-sodden old stockings in their mouth. They would have to keep it there for a week.
That'll keep you quiet, windy wallet.
When the children were sleeping on the cold stone floor, she would put wiggly worms down the backs of their shirts so they would wake up screaming.
Old swoggler.
Mrs. Curdle would sneeze over the orphans and blow her nose on their hair. A weekly bath involved her dunking the orphans one by one into a barrel full of maggots.
The maggots will nibble off the dirt, you mutt.